This is Life in a Nutshell. I'm Lon Schiffbauer. In our previous episode, I suggested that one of the reasons you may be struggling to reach your goals is because you are undervaluing yourself, undervaluing your time, your resources, things like that. However, there might be more to the picture. It could be that you're failing to reach your goals because you lack an enabling infrastructure. Now, yeah, I know. Enabling infrastructure is about as far away from a sexy term as you can get, but bear with me for a moment. Let's start with the term infrastructure. Now, most of the time when we think about infrastructure, we think of things like roads and bridges and electrical grids, public transit, things that are designed to help make business and our day-to-day lives run smoothly. It's all about reducing the friction to getting done what we need to get done. Next, let's look at the word enable. Enable essentially means to make something possible or maybe even easy. So, an enabling infrastructure is basically a system or network that makes whatever we need to do possible or maybe even easy. So with this definition in mind, let me share with you a real-world example of how an enabling infrastructure can help us achieve great things, while at the same time the lack of an enabling infrastructure can basically make it impossible for us to reach our goals. For well over a decade now, I've had a 1965 MG Midget in complete disarray in my garage. It's up on blocks, the engine is all messed up, the electrical is pulled out, everything. It's a mess. My wife calls it my garage decoration. Now, over these 10 years or so, I've put maybe 100 hours into this midget, and okay, well, I guess I've done a little bit. But in that same time, I've earned a PhD, I competed in my 5th Ironman, I wrote 2 books, I transitioned my career from the tech industry to academia, I started a YouTube channel. There's all kinds of pretty big goals that I set and accomplished during that same period of time that I made very little progress on my MG Midget. So what's the deal? Why is this thing sitting around in my garage instead of zooming around the Alpine Loop? Well, basically, it comes down to a lack of an enabling infrastructure. Because there's a great deal of friction between me and the work, I have to bring to bear a lot of concerted effort to try to reach any of my goals with this particular car. And that's what it basically comes down to. Either you have an enabling infrastructure to reduce friction and make it smooth and easy, or you have to bring to bear cognitive resources and concerted effort to overcome the lack of an enabling infrastructure. So to show you what I mean, let me break this down in very clear terms when I compare my MG Midget with my day job. First, let's look at my work schedule. Now, in the case of a day job, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., or my classes are at this time on these days. Zero thought required, zero planning. It's in my calendar. I show up, I do my work. On the other hand, with the MG Midget, there's no time built in or anything, or no expectations placed upon me to be at a certain time at a certain place working on a certain aspect of the car. So it's really much more nebulous. Then we have support from others, our stakeholders. Now, in the case of my 9-to-5 job, my day job, my stakeholders understand that I'm going to go to work at this time. This is what I need to do. Nobody ever questions, gee, where are you going? Why are you spending your time on that? Whereas when I go off to work on the car, I'm sort of taking time away from my family, from my friends, from my stakeholders. And it's tempting for them to say, well, gee, are you going to do that right now? Because we kind of had this planned today, and you understand we still need to do this. And I was wondering if you could help me with that, right? And so there's basically less support from others in working on my car, Not that they resist, but it's not the same as them just letting me go off and do my day job. Then there's access to tools and resources. Now, when it comes to my day job, I have everything I need. I have the equipment, I have the access, I have all the tools, all the resources, all the space that I need to do what I need to do. All right. However, an MG Midget, a 1965 British sports car, is kind of a unique piece of equipment, right? And you need unique specialized tools to work on this. Now, I have a wrench. I guess you would call it a spanner when it comes to an MG Midget. And I've got a hammer, but that's about it, folks, right? I don't have all the cool specialized equipment that would make it easy for me to work on this car. And that actually leads us to facilities. Once again, my 9-to-5 job, I've got the offices, I've got the HVAC, I've got the electricity, I have the water, I have everything I need to do my work when it comes to actual infrastructure, the facilities. On the other hand, when it comes to the Midget, I've got a garage. I mean, a small 2-car garage that, of course, holds my wife's car and then about a dozen bicycles. I know it's bad. And then all kinds of equipment. That garage is an absolute, complete, and utter mess. And all I've got is maybe half a foot of space all around this tiny car to work. So no, I don't have the physical facilities that are necessary for me to really get into this car. Whereas with my day job, I have all the physical facilities I could possibly hope for. Then we have competence and expertise. All right, now this is big. Now, when it comes to my day-to-day job, I sort of know what I'm doing. I have a high level of expertise in this area. I'm highly educated. I have an MBA, a PhD. I'm SPHR certified. I've been teaching a good long time. I know my way around the block, okay? When it comes to mechanics, I know nothing. I mean, really nothing. It's been kind of a goal of mine to develop my skill set in this area. However, I don't even know enough to start learning what I don't know. I'm really, really incompetent when it comes to working on mechanical engines. And so this presents a level of friction. I look at the thing, I freeze up, I become terrified, I don't know where to start. Whereas if you put me in front of a classroom or a camera or something like that, yeah, I'm good to go. Let's do this thing. Now, competence would not be as big of an issue if I had access to experts and mentors. And once again, this is something that I lack. When it comes to my teaching job, I'm surrounded by really, really good, awesome professors and administrators, folks who can really help point me down the right path if I ever need any support or advice or training, which I do. On the other hand, there are precious few people around who know how to work on a 50-year-old British sports car, let alone people in my immediate vicinity and network, right? If I need help at the college, they're just right there. Some of the best experts I could ever ask for are right there. MG Midget, well, I guess I got YouTube, maybe, right? So I don't have the same access to experts and mentors. And finally, there's accountability. If I don't do my day job, I'm in trouble. I am accountable to my administrators, to my dean, to my associate dean, to my students, to my stakeholders. All of these folks hold me accountable for my performance and my contributions to my 9-to-5 job. It's not 9 to 5, but you get what I'm saying. On the other hand, there's no accountability for the midget. I mean, yes, my wife will occasionally give me a hard time that there's this garage decoration taking up space in our garage for the last, decade plus, but it's all in good fun. I am not held accountable to the work that I do, to the progress that I make on this particular goal. And that is a really, really powerful driver, or the lack thereof is taking away that drive. So that really shows you the power of an enabling infrastructure. Because of everything I have in place for my day job, success is pretty much guaranteed. I mean, not guaranteed, but I have all the ingredients in place, right? So long as I apply myself, the enabling infrastructure will make sure that all of my work is directed in the right direction and makes good progress toward any objectives that I hold. By contrast, the lack of an enabling infrastructure with my MG Midget makes failure pretty much a foregone conclusion. So in summary, a good enabling infrastructure makes it easy to do the right work. By contrast, the wrong enabling infrastructure makes it easy to do the wrong work. And the lack of an enabling infrastructure makes it easy to do no work. So with this in mind, think about your own infrastructure and how it helps or hinders you as you stretch for your goals. Do you have the facilities? Do you have the resources? Do you have the expertise? Do you have access to mentors and experts? Do you have the tools that you need to be successful? What do you have and what do you lack? And how can you bridge what you lack with what you need? And that, once you figure all this out, is going to really help you reach your goals. After all, if you have the right enabling infrastructure in place, it is almost an inevitability that you will reach your goals. And there you go. I hope you found something in here helpful or thought-provoking. And incidentally, if you did, do me a solid and share this podcast with your friends and family. They've got their own goals. They've got their own ambitions. Help them out by giving them the tools and resources they need to be successful along the way. All right? Until we talk again, have a fantastic day.